A continuing exploration of cultures and people we share this country with. Colorful encounters with Filipinos who can, if we let them, enrich our own worldviews, our knowledge of ourselves. Nourishing, sheltering, healing, adorning. Celebrating the manifold ways of being Filipino. This is Dayaw, our knowledge, our pride. Season 2 of Dayaw ends in a burst of color, ornamentation, adornment. From the story of ancient beads traded into the Philippines to textiles adorned with sequins, from animist motifs to Christian symbols, all proudly proclaiming our sense of beauty to an admiring world. Beads used by the indigenous peoples of the Philippines tell a fascinating story. Of travel, of trade, of how imported objects meant for economic exchange became objects of social and spiritual value. Heirlooms that connect the wearer to ancestors and spirits. Since the 12th century, glass and stone beads from India, from China, from Afghanistan, from Venice, and Europe have found themselves traded all over the Philippine archipelago. The history of the bead trade is thousands of years old. In the Philippines, it has not yet been fully documented, and only further research will determine the exact travel routes from their places of manufacture to the Philippines.
I was told that the Chinese or even the European beads went through the Silk Route from Europe all the way to China and going to the Philippines. And they went through the Middle East, maybe, to India, and then they went as far as Indonesia and, well, the Melanesian islands. So, mainly, if it's the Chinese beads, because the Chinese make beads out of glass, it is from the Silk Road. And even the Venetian ones went through. And the Spaniards, when they came, they traded those beads with gold of the Kalingas.
Beads have always been the most easily traded of objects because of their size and quantity. But
this is The Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas. Travis Kelce delivered a standout performance with Taylor Swift and WNBA star Caitlin Clark cheering him on.
Being able to represent the Philippines and bringing so much honor and pride to our country, it means so much to me.
10 na!
So more times 10 happy ako dati.
The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Billionaire News Channel.
beads are small, portable, easy to store, carry, and exchange. As beads travel, they become more than just objects of trade. They take on meanings and values. Bunched together, they are opulent decorations for clothing. Carefully selected, Stranded together, beads become heirlooms of great prestige and value. Lovely to look at, but they also say much about the Filipino aesthetic, our love of color, and our disciplined sense of style. Small glass beads of contemporary make are popular with the highland animists of Mindanao. These Tiboli women belong to a cooperative that has developed thriving cottage industries around beadwork, stringing thousands of these beads into necklaces and other accessories that have found ready audiences. Beads are also an indispensable part of the traditional attire of many Mindanao highland groups. The Bagobo, Belaan, Manobo, Mandaya, Matigsalog, Agusanon, and other indigenous peoples who attended this year's Dayaw festival in Davao City demonstrated how beads came together with other elements. In both men and women, old and young, plain textiles are blank canvases to be decorated with a profusion of beads, sequins, horsehair, cotton pom-poms. The result is a tapestry of color and texture, of contrasting materials and complementing motifs.
Bagobos are probably the original ones who started beadwork.
Older examples of Bagobo costumes show a more severe and disciplined approach to design. This jacket for men from the early 20th century shows how imported trade beads were incorporated with small discs of mother-of-pearl discs.
The earlier ones were chambered nautilus. It's like an ammonite. It's like a spiral. And then those, you can tell them by having a very thin shell. Now, and then they made shells out. They made sequins or mother of pearl.
Small discs, meticulously cut from large shells, ground and shaped by hand, were a premium material for adorning Bagobo and Belaan clothing. We can only wonder at the work that went into manufacturing these tiny beads and the difficult process of attaching them to the abaca cloth. This penchant for adorning textile with beads is shared by the animists of Mindanao and with the people of the Cordillera, most notably the Gadang and the Kalinga. The Gadang of Paracelis are renowned for the ability to weave, as well as decorate their textiles with bunches of glass beads. These beads are often as tightly integrated into the textiles as the woven motifs. The result is textiles that achieve a three-dimensional quality. The fondness for beaded textiles is shared by both women and men. No single element of their traditional costume is without beads, from the skirts, the long-sleeve jackets, the headpieces and accessories of the Gadang woman, to the loincloths, short jackets, and dramatic capes of the Gadang men.
The Gadangs are the peacocks of the Philippines, if you know what I mean. They are heavily ornamented. While the Kalingas, they prefer the more somber colors, like browns and blacks.
The value of larger, older beads is most manifest among the Kalinga. For these peacocks of the north, a bead was seldom just an adornment. Each specific type of trade bead that made its way up into the mountains had an economic value measured in livestock and other items of exchange. Each complete necklace had an heirloom value, equivalent in rice fields and livestock. And there were the healing, magical properties associated with the most precious of beads.
They use it as jewelry, and they are heirloom jewelry. They pass through the female line. They use beads in rituals, in decorations, ornaments, and even medicine. You know, the Kalingas, they gouge out the glass beads, powdered the chips, and then drink to cure maybe stomach ailments. And also for trade, they can buy carabaos, pigs, using beads.
The pilakid is the most precious of the Kalinga bead ornaments, a long string of beads worn diagonally crossing the chest from the shoulder. Asymmetric in design, the more precious old agate beads are worn in front, while the less valuable yellow beads are worn at the back. Experts will instantly recognize how the pilakid gathers beads from so many different locations. The prized agate beads, or adyongan, are from India. The blue and white chevron is from Venice, as are many of the colored glass beads.
The tinali is like forearm beads of seed beads that is different colors wound around here. That is for the arms. And they have chokers. And they have head beads, forehead beads, and practically all parts of the body.
The ifuga of Asipulo is that if the parents have a daughter or a son being a teenager, they will have perform first the balihung, that they will bless the beads, this necklace, so that people will know that they have a growing daughter or son. So there is the balihung. So after which is grown up and she or he will get married, they will now use these accessories. As the Mumbaki will bless them so that they will have a long life, because this paangaw will never fade away. It will be always yellow. So 1,000 years ago, brought by the Malays, barter with pigs and chicken and rice. So they never want to sell or be brought by anyone, but it will be passed from generation to generation. This can be valued by the one tract of land. If you borrowed it and you lost it with your cousin, you will pay with your land, rice field. If you will buy another like this and you will pay it, you can get back your property.
In a vanished world where cash did not exist, these beads were more than just simple adornments or vanities. They embody the concept of Karangyaan, wealth, beauty, prestige.
Some say that why collect beads, trade beads, when they are not indigenous to the Philippines? So what you can answer is, well, they have become part of our culture. Not like, for example, comparing it with the textiles. They make textiles, so you can say it is original. But the beads, the only thing that you can call original there is the way they string them together, the way they wear them, or the way they make beadwork out of them. Even though they don't originate from the Philippines, it has been part of our culture.
You're watching Business 360, where we break down the numbers, connect the dots, and give you the developments and insights you need to navigate, adapt, and lead. World leaders react to Donald Trump's return to the White House. Finance Chief Ralph Recto says that the Philippines could even profit from Trump's new tariff strategy. President Bongbong Marcos doubles down on incentives to supercharge the Philippines' semiconductor industry. That's for Business 360. I'm Mikey Oreta. Keep it here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel, always on top.
Every morning,
It's getting better.
let's start your day right with fun and laughter. Join Paulo Del Rosario
Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
and Asis Carillo.
We are bringing happiness and cheer along with inspiration, good vibes, and great energy.
And Monique Tuzon.
Your mornings are mo fun with us. Only here on
It's a beautiful day.
From pre-Hispanic gold to the jewels of the Ivatan. Then on to the batok of the Kalinga. Then to the fascination for beads of many Filipino cultures. In Maykawayan, contemporary Filipino craftsmen continue to indulge our love for adornment, for precious objects. Their design vocabulary now incorporates Western motifs, as well as Spanish, colonial, and neo-tribal.
Right after the war, nag-umpisa yung mga taga-Mikawayan gumagawa ng mga souvenir na gamit. No? So, yung binibenta nila sa mga soldiers, no? Yung sing-sing na gano'n, tapos may nakalagay, Philippines. No? Yun, yung mga souvenir items muna. Tapos, nung yung Manila was destroyed, na mga maraming workers namatay, naghahanap sila ng tagagawa, ang murang labor yung sa Maykawayan kasi mga farmers lang yan actually eh. So doon na nag-umpisang mag-develop yung anong yan, yung industry. Kasi nandun yung workers, nandun yung materials. What's giving the industry energies? The new designers, the young designers.
It is not so much about the object or the precious metal, but about how different Filipinos have taken these and made them into their own expressions of beauty and value.
Contemporary artisans and craftsmen can learn so much from the devotional ways of traditional artists in terms of what they consider beautiful or rich or wealthy. Because wealth in our traditional culture is not measured in terms of the cost of materials. Our traditional artists emphasizes creativity. No matter how modest, no matter how cheap materials are, what is important is your imagination. And this is the reason why in our traditional art, any available material is used for art. And this is what our craftsmen and our artisans can learn from our traditional art. There's beauty in everything. In other words, the point of art in our traditional cultures is to enhance life. Because if you transform everything into an art, whatever you find in the house, furniture, clothing, mats, windows, as in Panay, the very beautiful patterns in Panay, the moment you transform everything into art, you heal people. Because one of the best ways to heal, to integrate our being is through art. When we find beauty, we feel so much peace of mind. And so it's a healing function that is very important in our traditional culture. A healing function of art That's the reason why we can learn so much from the traditional artists in terms of what? Creating beauty.
In the second season of Dayaw, we looked at the many ways of being Filipino, from what we eat, to how we build our homes, how we use music and dance to create rituals that heal and connect us to the natural world, how we celebrate our bodies with beautiful motifs, all in the quest to achieve that most elusive of qualities, kabuuan ng loob, the feeling of wholeness within and without. It is a gift many of our indigenous peoples struggle daily to preserve. Next season, we explore the materials used to build symbols and expressions of our race, as well as the artisans whose life's work we must acknowledge and take pride in. Always and in every story we do, we will show you that there is really much to be preserved. Dayaw, our knowledge, our pride.